This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
All right, back here, Radio Row SEC Media Days. Really appreciate the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Lindbergh Real Estate Team, and WT Equipment for our coverage all week long. We go to Laura Rutledge now, SEC Network, ESPN analyst. And, Laura, I'll just come out of the gate. Arkansas is not going to get the national publicity. You guys won't spend as many segments on them this week for obvious reasons. What are your initial impressions of Sam Pittman? And I guess we're 44 days out from Arkansas football this fall.
You know, anybody who has ever listened to anything I've ever said, I love Sam Pittman. And I've been pretty upfront about that. Now, what I don't love is when Arkansas football isn't as good as it should be. And as good as it should be, I think they should be a contender to win the SEC every single year. And to me, that's the tough part is you're seeing a program that has so much history, so much greatness to it, not be at the level that it should be. I think it's possible, especially in today's world of NIL and how you can grab players, how you can grab anybody that you need, right? They need to be doing all of that. And I feel like this is it, right? We're going to know whether or not it actually happens with Coach Pittman this year. The pressure's on. He has never shied away from that, right? But at some point, it's do or die right now for Arkansas. And I hope for him that he can find a way to have enough success to keep going there. But I also hope for Arkansas fans that more success comes in the future, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I walked in the big main room here at Media Days yesterday and turned the corner, headed over there to find an audio connection, and bam, there's y'all stage. And Nick Saban's sitting next to you, which I still got to remind myself he's not coaching, and he's part of us now. He's part of the media. What is it like to and how did y'all make the adjustment bringing him into part of your crew?
It's been fascinating, guys. I mean, as somebody who covered him for all these years, and we've all seen him in the coaching role, right? I was pretty familiar with how he is and I really enjoyed him. You know, I know there are some people who are like, oh, you know, he's scary.
Yeah.
I've never felt that from him. I always felt he was just an interesting person to talk to. To see his level of prep for this, he watched every single team's entire spring game, didn't miss a snap. He talked to every single coach before he came here. Imagine if you're one of these coaches in the SEC, like, hey guys, Nick Saban's calling me to, you know, check in from the media perspective. It's all unique and different, but I think what he's brought over these last couple days, it's been fascinating, is really an inside look into how coaches think about all of this, but not only just coaches, the best coach to ever do it. It's been really fun to sit next to him and learn some of how he views the game. And he hasn't shied away from giving some good opinions and, you know, being critical and being positive here and there. He picked Georgia and Texas to compete for the SEC championship.
Way
which
out
means,
on the limb.
Well, yeah, but you know what that meant? Wasn't like he was trying to say it was Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, he said Alabama could contend, but he didn't have them right up there at the top. So I think he's been really fun and honest and very prepared. I've been impressed by that.
Because we've been working. I haven't gotten to watch the coverage and listen, but what I have found kind of an interesting dynamic is here's the GOAT in the back of the room watching Brian Kelly, watching Kirby Smart earlier today, and they've, you know, that to me would add a level of pressure if I'm one of these coaches up there and, in the back of the room is Nick Saban. And, you know, if his body language isn't good, that means I'm probably not doing very good.
Well, it's funny because he's been sitting there and taking notes on everything that they say, but like in a positive way. And I thought the same thing. I thought, golly, I wouldn't want to be, you know, standing up there and trying to speak to the media with Nick Saban watching me. But Kirby even said that day. He said, you know, I didn't know if you were back here judging me, but he's been very supportive of what the coaches have said. And I think he wants, at the top, he wants this to be a successful year for the SEC overall.
Laura, I don't think Coach Saban's ever going to say this, but from what you've gathered from the different coaches that have appeared thus far, is there almost a sigh of relief that he's next to you rather than up on that stage and they don't have to compete against him on a Saturday?
I even sensed that when I went to the SEC meetings in Destin, you know, back in May. You can feel a changing of the guard, and there's the Kirby Smarts and even the Steve Sarkisians of the world who feel like they're sort of ushering in this new era, even though they're connected to Saban in so many ways, but it's their time, right? There is a sigh of relief in a lot of ways. I think it feels like, okay, you don't have to think at all times, I've got this mastermind who maybe I used to coach for, who knows everything about all my tendencies. How many times we throw up the numbers of, well, here's the record of Saban's former assistants against him. That's no longer a thing, right? And I think it has opened up a whole new world. I should have mentioned Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, somebody who, at this point, that team on paper, which he's the transfer portal king, looks really complete. Looks like there's not many holes there. They're a team that, in the past, if you're always thinking about, okay, Saban at Alabama, it just, that dominated so much of the league. That's no longer going to be the conversation. I'm not saying Alabama's not going to be good, because I do think they will be, but it's not Saban's Alabama.
Your career has reached the level you do work with the NFL and NFL Live. You're obviously here covering college football. You're a mom. You're a wife. How do you find time for it all to do the prep to be ready for each and every assignment?
Oh, man, my brain is like scrambled eggs. What I found is that anytime I'm trying to do prep or something, I just have to sit down and just grind it out. Like, I need to commit to it right in that moment. And sometimes that may literally be like, I got to go in my closet and the kids are going to be with Dad for a minute, and I'll be back in a few minutes once I've gone through, Arkansas's schedule. Exactly, right. But no, I've had to accept, because I'm sort of a person that wants everything to be at the highest of high levels. I want no stone unturned when it comes to prep. On both sides and all the different roles that I feel very fortunate to have, I've had to accept that there is going to be some that I'm not going to be able to complete, and it's just the phase of life that I'm in. And at some point, the kids are going to be a little older, and I'm not going to be chasing the 1-year-old around while he's literally wreaking havoc all over the house, and, the 4-year-old wants to do this and that. That phase of life will be gone, and I'll miss it. So I'm trying to just live in it and breathe in it as much as I possibly can.
Well, Laura, as we'll let you go, we found out next year is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. Last year was in Nashville. I've got one of my best friends that lives around. We have a lot of places we go, and one of those places is always Sprouts. It's literally right next door to his house.
I love that. We love Sprouts. They're the official grocer of the SEC. One of the coolest things about Sprouts right now, guys, is their support of women's athletics, and that's really why they wanted to partner with the league. They care about women's sports. They want to invest in these women who are giving so much of themselves to the SEC and to their universities. And you know this because you're always going to Sprouts, but the healthy options are great. So we just talked about being a mom. I'm always looking for something that's healthy but also tastes good, and that's what Sprouts has. They have all the varieties of snacks and things like that, but you can get these great wraps. Their sushi's really good. Anything you need, Sprouts has the variety of that. And once again, just really special that they care about women the way that they do.
Well, Laura, we'll leave it there again. Laura Rutledge, SEC Network and ESPN host, not just for college football in the SEC, but also NFL Live, as Tommy mentioned. Laura, really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.